Have you ever built a website and then thought, I wish this could do more? Have actual users who can log in, save their stuff, and get an experience that's all their own? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to take a simple website and turn it into a real, powerful web application, one with users, data, and even file uploads. So let's get started.
So what's the big deal? What really separates a basic, static website from a true web app? This is a really crucial distinction. See, a website just kind of talks at you, but a web app, it has a conversation with you.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. A real web app has user accounts. It has a memory. It saves your data, so it's there when you come back. And because of that, the experience is totally personalized. That moment when a user can log in, see their own stuff, and know it'll be there tomorrow, that is the moment a website truly becomes an application.
Okay, so how do we build this memory in these user accounts without having to become a full-blown back-end engineer overnight? Well, the back-end is the engine of any app. It's all the stuff you don't see. And for this explainer, our engine is going to be Firebase. It's a service from Google that hands us all those complicated back-end features on a silver platter. And it has an incredibly generous free plan that's just perfect for getting started.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with user authentication. Think of it as building the front door. Then we'll tackle storing user data and handling file uploads. After that, the fun part, connecting it all to the user interface to bring it to life. And just like that, your app will be live. All right, let's dive in. Section 1, User Authentication. This is all about building the front door and the lock for our app. We need a way for people to securely get in and for our app to know who they are. Setting this up in Firebase is actually super straightforward. You create a project, add your web app, and then you just flip a switch for the sign-in method you want to use. For our app, we're going with the classic email and password plus the one-click convenience of Google sign-in. Easy. Okay, now here is a tiny step that makes a huge difference for user trust. Firebase sends out automatic emails for things like verification, right? You have to go into those templates and change the sender name to your app's name. It's a small detail, but when a user gets that email, they need to know instantly who it's from. Don't skip this.
So with the backend ready to go, we've got to connect it to our website. Firebase gives you this unique configuration code that lets your site talk to its services. And here's the cool part. We can just treat an AI tool like our own personal developer. We give it a clear instruction, hand over that config code, and it just writes the code we need for our sign-up form.
And just like that, authentication is live. People can create accounts, and you can see them popping up in your Firebase console. We've even got email verification to cut down on fake signups. And once we push our site to a real domain, Google Sign-In just works. The front door is officially built. On to Section 2, Storing User Data. So, people can get in the door now, but where do they put their stuff? We need to give every single user their own secure personal locker. And that personal locker, it's a database called Firestore. This is where we'll keep all the structured info, things like profile details, user settings, maybe some notes they've written. The key thing to remember is this is for data, not for big files. We'll get to those in a minute. Now, before we store a single piece of information, we have to talk about security. When you set up Firestore, you immediately choose production mode. Always. This starts you off with everything locked down by default, which is exactly what you want. It prevents any accidental data leaks. It's the only right way to start a real app. So, how do we open things up safely? We write security rules. And the core idea is incredibly simple but so powerful. It's this right here. We write a rule that basically says a user can only touch the data that belongs to them. It checks their unique user ID. This ensures total privacy. Your data is your data, and nobody else can see it. So we head back to our AI tool and just describe what we want. We ask it to build out some dashboard sections, and this is the important part, to make sure any info the user enters gets saved to our Firestore database tied directly to them. The AI spits out the code, and boom, our users can now actually save their data. Okay, Section 3. Let's talk about file uploads. If Firestore is a personal locker for bits of data, what about the big stuff? Images, PDFs, documents. For that, we need something more like a secure storage unit.
And this slide just nails the distinction. Firestore is for data. Think of it like a spreadsheet or a database. Firebase storage is for files. Think of it like a digital file cabinet. You absolutely use them together, but they each have a very specific job. Getting this right is key.
Now, setting up storage has a couple of quick steps. First, you do have to upgrade your Firebase project to a plan that has billing enabled. But don't worry, the free tier is so generous you probably won't pay a dime for a long time. Then, just like before, we start with secure production mode rules that give every single user their own private folder that nobody else can get into.
And I bet you can guess what's next. We use the exact same pattern. We write a clear, simple prompt for our AI. We tell it what we want, give me an upload button, let users pick files, and then stick those files in Firebase storage, making sure you know which user they belong to. And it just works.
And that brings us to my favorite part, Section 4, connecting the UI. Okay, our backend is fully armed and operational. We have authentication, a database, and file storage. Now it's time for that magic moment where we make the actual website react to all of this. This is where it all comes to life. The very first thing you'll notice is that the app isn't just a static page anymore. It's intelligent. It knows who's logged in. It can greet you by name. This simple little touch is the first real sign that you're using a real application, not just looking at a web page.
And the dashboard? It's a living thing now. Instead of just showing some fake placeholder info, it's reading the actual data from the user's account in Firebase. This chart isn't just a picture, it's a real-time count of how many files they've actually uploaded and how many notes they've actually saved.
And now we can get into some real business logic. Let's say our app's free plan has a limit. Maybe you can only upload 5 files. We can build that rule right into our application's code. And this right here, this is the payoff. The user interface doesn't just show data, it enforces rules. When a user tries to upload that 6th file, the app knows they've hit the limit. It can automatically disable the upload button and show a message saying, "Hey, time to upgrade." That's a real software feature, built right in.
So we've done it. We went from a simple, static page to a full-fledged web application. It has logins, it has data, it has file storage. It's a complete system that you can use as a foundation for almost any idea you can dream up. So the only question left is, what are you going to build next?